have no eyes, yet I have seen. I have no soul, yet I remember. Listen, and you will know why I do not weep. It began with a vox signal, a signal that should not have existed. It emerged from the abandoned orbitals of Ulrich's grave, a gas giant ringed with industrial husks long since plundered by scavenger fleets. The signal pulsed in a long-dead imperial frequency, repeating one line in low binary. Help us. The song does not end. Inquisitor Genthos Vale received this transmission aboard his corvette, drifting in silent translation between star systems. His augmetic eyes passed the waveform instantly. There was no data origin signature, no astropathic marker, no encryption stamp. The signal was impossible, therefore, it demanded investigation. He arrived at Illyric's grave within 40 hours, exiting warp transit with only his corvette's silent running lights engaged. Before him, the orbital ring loomed. 12 kilometers of steel and alloy, arcologies long breached, habitats vented into vacuum centuries before. Its surface was a tapestry of corrosion and meteoric scarring. Flickering lumen strips glowed within the ruptured habitat bays, their failing power relays humming with static, as if the station itself whispered in agony. Vale's boarding shuttle docked with Habitat Gamma, locking onto an airlock half torn from its hinges. His servitors deployed first, scanning the silent corridors with augmetic eyes. They detected no thermal signatures, only electromagnetic interference bleeding across every frequency like the dying song of a machine spirit driven mad. He walked among them, armored robes trailing over debris-strewn floors. Vox speakers embedded in the corridor walls crackled with the transmission's chant. Help us. The song does not end. The words echoed from every direction, layered with distortion that made them vibrate within bone. His retinue advanced, past hab modules filled with drifting skeletal remains. Families huddled in corners, their bodies mummified by vacuum exposure. Children lay curled against their parents' corpses, eyes long since desiccated within empty sockets. Dust motes drifted in zero gravity, glimmering like insect swarms under his helmet's lumen lamps. They reached the central Vox control tower. Its bulkhead doors were sealed with mechanical locks fused by heat and impact stress. Vale's servo skull floated forward, extending a plasma torch from its jaw assembly. Sparks flew as it cut through the lock housings. The door slid open with a metallic groan that reverberated down the dead station's corridors like a funeral bell. Inside lay the source of the transmission. Hundreds of robed corpses sat in concentric circles around a central Vox pillar. Their bodies were desiccated, flesh pulled tight against bone, teeth bared in rictus agony. Rusted Vox receivers had been implanted into their jawbones, data wires connecting their skulls to the pillar with coiling serpentine cables. Their hollow eyes glowed faint green in Vale's augmented vision as residual warp energy flickered within their skulls like guttering candles. He stepped forward, scanning the pillar's interface panels. Its rune screens pulsed with corrupted data streams, glyphs of the dark mechanicum woven into recursive logic loops that whispered demonic syllables through the Vox array. This was not an imperial chant. It was a litany of binding, a ritual broadcast to anchor something within the materium. Vale activated his staff's data spike and plunged it into the pillar's port. The screens flickered, glyphs shifting into distorted pictures of a robed figure, its head replaced with a mass of writhing data cables. Its voice screeched through the speakers. We are the song. The song is flesh. The flesh is eternal. The data string burned against Vale's ocular implants. Scripts designed to corrupt machine minds and shred organic cognition spilled across his retinal display. His mind, encased within adamantium discipline, parsed them without flinch. He spoke aloud, his respirator vox filtering his words into static-laced judgment. Your song ends here. The pillar's lumen flared as the data spike's hexagrammic seals activated. Code fire erupted across the consoles, burning the demonic glyphs from memory sectors. The robed corpses convulsed as the cables implanted into their skulls sparked and burst, liquefying gray matter within charred craniums. The transmission faltered, warbled, then screamed in one final inhuman cry. We will not silence. We will not silence. We will not silence. Silence. Bale withdrew his spike. The Vox pillar was dead. No flickering glyphs. No whispers. Only darkness and the faint smell of burning flesh. He turned to leave. As his servitors closed ranks behind him, one paused. Its ocular lens whirred, focusing on a flickering lumen panel above the door. The Vox speakers hissed with static. Then, softly, the chant returned. Help us, the song does not end. Vale paused, scanning the walls with his ocular implants. There was no power feed, no data line connected to the speakers. Yet the voice continued, soft, childlike, filled with sorrow beyond mortal comprehension. He raised his staff and smashed the speaker. Sparks burst across the dark corridor. The sound cut off mid-word. For a moment, silence returned. Then another speaker crackled to life down the hall. Help us. The song does not end. His eyes narrowed behind his respirator lenses. The song was not bound to data lines. It was anchored to the warp corruption saturating the station's hull. An echo made immortal by blasphemy. It could not be silenced with violence or code. Only with faith unbreakable. He spoke one final command to his servitors. It's the station, fire pattern, orbital cleansing. His shuttle detached as his servitors wired melted charges across the structural girders. As he rose into the void, he watched from the Corvette's observation deck. The station erupted in silent explosions, each bloom of orange and white tearing away thousands of tons of corrupted metal. Finally, the central Vox tower burst apart in a flare of actinic light, the echoes of its impossible chant lost to vacuum forever. Or so he believed. As he turned from the viewport, the Vox grill embedded in his gauntlet hissed softly. A child's voice whispered from the static, gentle as a dying breath. Help us, the song does not end. Vale crushed the Vox grill in his armored fist. Sparks fell like dying stars onto the steel deck. You have heard, but you have not seen. Be grateful. Be afraid.